what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Coffee Pod. My name is Chishi Zed.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
I'm a boss. I'm independent. I make my own money, and I work long hours. But, and this is where she wants your attention and your thoughts. But I would like to be married. Let's not forget what she says. She's a boss. She's independent. No more wasting time. Let's get it.
My question is marriage in today's society a realistic expectation for a young, independent, beautiful black woman?
Yes.
See,
Yes, absolutely.
I just have a problem with the identification
He didn't like
of
the
independent.
argument.
I just have a problem with it.
Like, I was rocking with you. You was talking about the marriage being the expectations until you start turning it into a young, independent woman. Like,
The reason why I'm saying independent is because I've been able to provide my, my lifestyle.
Why
for
was this
myself.
an issue?
And I feel like every man that I pretty much have
No, you don't
come
have to
across,
represent differently.
They
to a
have
young,
a
independent
problem
woman.
with me being a full-time boss, right? I work for myself, I make my own hours, but I work a lot. And a lot of men have a problem with that. There's some kind of like ego issue. Oh, she's working, oh, she doesn't have time for me. No, but my job right now is priority. My life is priority, and I don't want to put that aside.
Okay,
So
let's
is it-
go here.
Spoiler alert. You are right now, I want you to know this, you are watching the making of Vivica Fox. That's what you're watching right now. This is the making of the Vivica Fox archetype. Let's keep listening.
Can we? I just a brief moment. Cause why not talk facts with you right quick? Let's talk some semi-statistical shit. I only say semi because I don't have it in front of me and I don't want to misquote things for you. Americans, okay, so this is larger than just black people, are getting married later. The reason this is happening is because homes are becoming harder to purchase.
Yes.
What it means to settle down is becoming harder to achieve.
Yep.
So when you look at who the onus is on to actually propose, to be settled, to be prepared to carry and sustain, it's on a man. You being young, if a man is not able to get settled until later and later in life, we're talking about now at this point in the economy, and again, I haven't even talked about black people because it gets worse for us.
Yep.
I want you to know that this is an American problem. Most men are not able to now get settled in their lives financially until the late 30s to mid 40s.
But don't
Okay.
you think?
Hold on, sweetheart.
There you go. Can't even let the man get his word out. That should tell you everything you need to know about the ability to cooperate. Let's keep listening.
With you being on your square financially young, you are not just outdoing men, you're outdoing most Americans. So the expectation that most of the men
She likes that. She's like, yes, I am.
around your age are going to be financially settled enough to marry you, that part is unrealistic. Whether marriage is still achievable being real, bruh, hella people still want to get married. It's just harder to financially prepare for it. Don't hinge your hope on some like unrealistic idea that it's not good men out there. It's just you ahead of your time. And that comes with some shit. Sometimes it comes with being alone for a while.
Trill, what's up?
For a while. Forever. Forever, ever. Forever, ever. No.
Yeah, man. I think, no, go ahead, give her a round of applause. Go ahead. I just hate how it's proposition like a woman who's out there independent, making her money, doing her thing, has to sacrifice so much to be in a relationship, when in reality, men have to sacrifice the same damn thing. Because if you think that man's earning power when he with your compared to when he's single is the same, you are sadly mistaken. Because when a man is outside and we accomplishing what we accomplishing, we gotta be a wolf outside. We gotta go out there and dominate. We can't be that when we walk in the house with you. Adaptations have to be made, right? So if adaptations have to be made on our side, adaptations have to be made on your side to make the relationship work. And I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that, but a lot of times women are propositioned that like, hey, I got to give
Guys, there's a second video here after I read these comments. You see her face right there. I think this host's name is Kita. I think she speaks later on, but let's keep watching.
up so much to be in this relationship. We got to give up a lot too. But again, it's based on the union that we trying to build. And if the union that we trying to build is not that important to you, stay away from relationships.
All right, so we're going to check out some of these comments. There's a second video I'm going to play after this, but let's read some of these comments. There was some coffee served here that I saw. First comment here says, Trip needs his own damn show. So that's the first guy who spoke. Somebody else here says, I want to be married, but everything else in my life will be priority, is what I heard. Here's somebody else who added, nothing wrong with work coming first. There's everything wrong with expecting someone else to be okay coming second. Here's another person who says the issue isn't ambition or success. It's will you prioritize that man like you expect him to prioritize you? Okay, so here's the honest truth about what exactly is going on here. She was very upfront and honest about her issue. Her problem, she said, is that she goes out here and dates, and the men who she finds attractive say that she works too much. So men propose, right? These are men who she finds attractive. The men who she wants to have long-term relationships with that lead to marriage. She wants marriage, but the men she wants are saying that she works too much. So what's being said there? What's being said there is that the men she wants don't want a woman like her. Plain blank, period. There are a lot of men out here who wouldn't mind a hardworking woman who's making all the money while they stay at home. The problem is, as we know, most women want men who are either making the same amount of money as they are or are making more than them. This has very little to do with priority and more has to do with what the men she finds attractive wants. It's the same shit, guys, over and over again. It's the same pattern. She's constantly going after these men who she finds economically attractive, doesn't want a brokey. A woman like that, she won't even look a man's way, most likely, for a long-term relationship, marriage, who she believes is not on her level based on how she was presenting herself. But she's wondering, is it in her books? Is she going to get married? Why? Because when she goes out there, she finds out that the more ambitious, the more money she makes, the harder it is for her to find somebody, because they don't want a highly ambitious woman who prioritizes her success. Women are okay with the man who they realize is focused on prioritizing bringing home the bacon, right? Being ambitious. Men, not so much, especially when he has an option to choose between the less ambitious version of you and you. Somebody else here added, he's so articulate. So they're talking about the first guy who spoke there. Calm, polite, epitome of a role model. Here's somebody else who says, in my opinion, she should just keep being great and be patient. Horrible advice. Horrible advice. If you want something in this life, guys, if you truly want anything in this life, I don't care if it's money, I don't care if it's you reaching a goal with your health or losing weight, finding a partner. If it truly matters to you, you don't wait for it to happen. It just doesn't just happen. You don't sit there, pray to God, say Sierra's prayer and wait. You have to be taking active steps. And time is of the essence, especially for your biological clock as a woman. Somebody else here says, I always look forward to Trip's reply. Here's another person who says, nah, there is an ego issue. So now men have an ego issue. She goes on to say, he missed that part. I had my doctorate in my 20s and was financially stable. Most guys were settled, but they couldn't handle me doing better, she says, in their perception. They couldn't handle me doing better. Most likely for a woman like this, it's not that they couldn't handle you doing better. It's that you probably have the same energy that most women have who are doing well economically. They're not coming to the situation with, oh, here, I'm going to take my resources and we're going to splitting amongst each other and this. No. Your money's your money, right? Somebody else here says, Trip answer was perfect. And we're going to listen to part 2. There's a second part here that I think is worth listening to. All right, guys, so this is part 2. I'm a boss, I'm independent, I make my own money, and I work long hours, but I would like to be married. No more waste of time. Let's get it.
What would you want?
Oh, or there's a third option.
Tell me.
And it includes no men. Can you believe
That's
it?
not racist.
Oh my God. Hold
no.
on though. Let me cook for a second. Yeah, let me cook. There's nothing wrong with the word independent. I know that that's a trigger word, right? But right now, while you're on
There is something wrong with the word independent if you want a husband. There is.
your square, while you're doing your business, what is so difficult about saying, I'm not ready right now for a long-term relationship? It's okay to want marriage. You will have marriage, but maybe right now isn't the time. And so we can't say, is it unrealistic? You might find the love of your life, but right now, a little bit, because you're on your square. Just like he said, Americans, right? Americans don't have the means to afford housing and build families. Okay, then that may mean that you're not in a space where you're equal with your peers. So it's okay to have fun. It's okay to, date a little.
Get your cheeks clapped while you wait for your husband. I'm sure he would appreciate that. Again, guys, the making of Vivica Fox right before your eyes.
But we don't have to worry about marriage right now. That is why Americans are marrying later. And that's
Coach K.
okay.
Yeah.
I swear, bro. Checking back in 5 years. I'll be here.
I'm gonna take it back to what her question actually was. Okay.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully, they want to get rid of the Z on everywhere. But anyways, follow us on Facebook either way. Chisha Z.
No offense. No, that's no offense to nobody. But
Cook on.
but I was trying to get on to the point of what you were talking about. Okay, it's not an ego thing. It's really not. If you're in a dating process and marriage is something that you want, time is important. And the reason why it's so important is because it validates a person's presence in your life.
Yeah.
It validates their position in your life. So if you know you don't have the time, if you know that because of work or whatever your career is, you won't have the time to give to that person, then it sends a message to them that they're not important, or that the relationship or the dating experience is not important. So if you know you don't have the time, take a break from it. But it is very important, regardless of how much work you do, because I own 3 businesses and I don't care about those. I don't care about that. When it comes to my relationship, my man is going to get my time. He's going to get my time. Now, those things are still important, but we also have to understand that if we lose those things, what do we still have? If we lose those things, then we still have somebody that's there for us, somebody that's there to support us. So we do want to validate their presence in
Look at the chick in the back.
our life.
But see, I also think, just real quick, I think the issue a lot of times with that mindset is that people be thinking, okay, once I get to a point in my successful career, I'll be ready. And I can just flip the switch and be a domesticated woman. It don't work like that. You have a domesticated mindset. You're ambitious too, but you have that mindset. A lot of people are just focused on my career, my job, my money. And then when I get to 36, 37, you know
Right.
what? I done got the house I want, got the car I want, make the money I want. Now I'm ready for a man, and I can be a domesticated woman. It don't work like that. You got to learn that as you grow up. It's a adaptation that's necessary. And if you don't believe me, ask a lot of these women who are super successful right now and waited, and ask them how their life is going and how they feel about, damn, if I could go back, would you do something differently? I guarantee you 9 out of 10 of them would say yes. If I could go back, I would do a lot differently.
No, they wouldn't. And I would have to disagree with that. Because these women have to sleep at night. They're not going to drink the coffee, and they're not going to take accountability in that way. Imagine having to admit that and look back and realize, like, you know what? I could have done things differently. That's not what I hear. And I understand where he's coming from. I'm sure some would do that and say that, but most of them just wouldn't. We see it all the time. What do? They double down. The elderly women, they double down. The Vivica Foxes, they're doubling down. 60. I'm finally in the best position to date, accepting boyfriend applications. Tracy Ellis Ross, we just did a video about that. Ebony K. Williams, single mother by choice. They double down. They will somehow make a way to make it okay, because we all have to sleep at night. But this is about priorities, man. Life is about priorities. What do you want? It just doesn't happen. And you decide You're going to deal with what comes with what you want. The struggle, the pain. You don't sit there and ask yourself, well, if I did this, if I did that, and then I could have done this. No. You know yourself, know what you value, and then you go after it, right? That's part of the adventure of life. But people want it all. That's the problem.
So Mike had said something earlier. He had started going in a particular direction that I would kind of, at least for a brief moment, kind of continue to go in.
Sure.
Because one of the things that a lot of the women that come up here and say also is that they're bosses. And I'm going to be honest, looking at my own family, black women boss up right now. And I love it.
This dude has to pander one time. Just once.
But being a boss comes with some responsibility.
Yeah.
So the black men that I know are bosses, that are bosses, especially in romantic relationship, there's almost an expectation because of their position to put their partner in position. It doesn't mean that they have to do everything for them. It does mean that they're expected to put their partner in position to succeed.
See how quiet that room got?
Whether that's paying for school, whether that's supporting them through another degree or a transition in jobs. I guess I'm wondering, and maybe it's because this recent burst of success is like newer. What is it about black women in these new positions of power, and it seeming so unattractive to put a black man in position to win?
Talk about it.
Okay. When you say it like that, when you say it like that,
when Mike, and I'm not even talking about, I'm not talking about settling for a bum. I'm talking about if you meet a man who you make more money than, because that's becoming more common, right? And if you're a boss, if you own your labor, if you set your hours, you got a business. If the man is a good man, a man who don't put his pride before caring for you.
Okay.
Hey, babe, I got a position, but I need you to go to school for it.
Okay.
I'm a send you to school. It's a 2-year program. I need you to learn how to run books. We'll start you out at $65,000. We'll work it from there. You put him in position to stand on his own square, and then he can put you in position to kind of step up your some. You feel me? What is so wrong with?
So, you see, and here lies the dilemma of the modern dating market. He's asking women to not lean into their hypergamy, not practice hypergamy. People all of a sudden go deaf when conversations about female nature come on, because people think that, human beings and males and females are a social construct, and there's no nature to a woman or a man. She is unable. She needs the power of God, extreme humility, to be able to look at a man who she looks at as lower than her on the socioeconomic status and say, I want to help this man do better. Does it happen? It does. But for most women, they would rather be single. They would rather be single than be with a man who they believe they are better than financially. How do you not believe what I'm saying right now when you see constant videos of chicks talking about, don't be with a man who can't do for you, or what's the point of a man if he's not able to pay all the bills? Now, don't get me wrong. An intelligent woman who realizes that this man is coming up and she invests in him and she's making more money than him, and she does that, and that man ends up rising and even rises above her, and he realizes that she helped him when she really didn't have to, right? That man will make it his life's mission to make sure that that woman is taken care of. But how many women out here are willing to do that? This is not a solution that most women are going to be okay with. Majority of them would rather just be single, because the fear is, what if he never gets it together? And again, men aren't women, right? A man would say, cool, it's okay, babe. You make a little bit more than me. I'm the man. I'm going to pay. For women, as much as they try to say they're just like men, there's no difference, blah, 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 blah. It's not okay for them to assume that nothing will ever change. And this also points to how women were lied to through feminism when they were told things would get better when they pretty much became the men who they want to date. Let's check out some of these comments. First comment here says, yo, don't be liking Kita's responses because she's going to always choose herself first if it comes down to it. This is the mindset of the women who you're dealing with today, the majority of them, the modern women. She's always going to choose herself first. Here's somebody else who says, once you're happy single, it's actually harder to be in a relationship. This is very true. This is also the problem of, oh, wait. Oh, yeah, give it time. Give it time. The more you get used to doing things your way, being by yourself, dating for fun, where she said, just have fun, being able to walk away from difficult situations and arguments instead of learning to work through those arguments, the more you get set in your ways and the less you be able to deal with the frustration. And it is challenging, but it's worth it. The frustration, if it turns out good, the frustration of relationships and marriage. Here's another comment that says, Kitty said exactly what Kita said. No, she didn't. Somebody else here says, Kitty and Kita said the exact same thing in different ways. No, they didn't. Kitty came from the perspective of a partner and Kita from that woman's perspective. Both said it's okay not to be ready. Both said it's okay to be ready. These chicks are hearing what they want to hear. Somebody else here says people don't understand how much time means. Again, people don't understand how much time means. That is a fact. Here's another comment that says it's called balance. No, it's called priorities. There is no balance in life. There's no perfect balance. There's never a balance. There are priorities. What are you going to prioritize? You can't prioritize your business and your relationship. Somebody else here says nothing wrong with staying single until you can commit more time to a partner. Sit back and watch the show, guys. Listen, I appreciate you for checking out yet another episode of the Coffee Pod. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.